Hey everyone, my name is Ben Nadler, and I'm the inventor of the financial grip system.
I'm Sarah Nadler, and I'm a financial advisor, and I've been a mindset coach for 12 years.
We're a couple of rock climbing, fun loving people who just happen to know a bit about money. You're here because you know that you need help with your personal finances.
By the end of this video, you're going to have a grip on where all your hard-earned money is going,
What things you need to be planning for in the future,
and how to get organized enough that you can start making more than you spend.
The reason why I created the financial grip system was because I started making more income than I had in years, and as a result, I started spending a lot more too. I started to have money anxiety, and I was also getting down on myself for being stupid and falling into the credit card trap of spending more than I make again and again. I tried to find some system that would work for me, but I couldn't find anything that would get me back in control. That's when I came up with the financial grip system. As soon as I applied this to myself, I could feel my anxiety going away. I knew at any given moment that my bills were covered and how much I could spend on things I wanted. And the really big thing for me is I knew I was making steady progress toward future goals financially.
A couple of months after Ben worked out his system, I came to him with basically the same problem. I was actually crying because I had really fallen into despair about my finances. As some of you can probably relate to, I have a bit of a shopping problem, and it started to really get in the way of my future goals, both personally and professionally. Ben's method of setting aside certain amounts and the full system he worked out to completely get your money under control was super helpful. Now I know when I can afford to buy things I want and when I need to tell myself no. But because of the unique way he set up my finances, I don't ever feel like I'm depriving myself. Or worse, like my husband is trying to tell me what I can and can't do with my money.
Big deal in relationships, guys. We tested this system out with other people and found out it wasn't just us who needed it. One guy who I did this with recently was really in financial despair and didn't see a way out. He felt like he was being buried by all his debts, but by the end of a 45-minute chat, I could see the relief on his face.
That's when we decided we really need to show others how to do this.
So enough talk. Let's actually start doing something about your money problems, shall we? The first step of the financial grip system is the most important. Everything else is based on this first step, and that is to make a list of all your expenses.
And he really does mean all of them.
You have to make sure to get them all written down in a big list, every category, otherwise the system really isn't going to work.
If you're in a relationship or living with roommates or have some other person who you share bills with, I recommend sitting down with them to do this step. That way you don't miss anything.
And you don't have to put it together in 2 minutes either. Take as much time as you need. And if you're not sure of the exact cost of something, or it fluctuates, such as utilities or gas, give it your best guess. You can revise later, but having numbers that are pretty close is super helpful.
And actually, to help you out with this, Ben and I created a free downloadable checklist to make sure you hit every point. So don't worry, if you have more or less categories than what's on our list, that's okay.
The point is that your list reflects your expenses.
And as a little extra, we put our heads together with some other couples, entrepreneurs, and financial agents to create bonus checklists that you might also find useful.
So there you go. That's our free gift to you along with this video. Download those now and use them to make sure you're not forgetting any of your expenses, and maybe even spot categories you should be saving for that you aren't right now.
Download the checklist now and do that step before you continue with this training. Okay, did you do that?
Okay, now we get into the juicy stuff. Once you've made sure you have a complete list of all your bills and other expenses, it's time to get started on breaking down the financial grip system. See, we found during our research that the reason why you're likely having difficulty keeping track of your money and your true expenditures is because you either A, don't have a complete list, so you don't actually know how much you need to be making, and or B, you don't have it broken down like this.
To make this work, every category is now broken down by week. Not monthly, not daily, but weekly, because that's how often you get a paycheck, so you have to do the math. If you spend money every day on Starbucks, then you need to add that up or multiply the amount by 7 so you know just how much to spend in 1 week on coffee.
If it's a monthly bill, divide it by 4 to get the weekly amount you have to set aside.
Even items on the future expenses list can be done this way. If you want to have enough cash to put $2,000 down in a new car in 2 years, Well, that's 52 weeks in a year. That's 104 weeks. So divide 2,000 by 104, that's only $19.20 a week you need to be setting aside. See, it really starts putting things in perspective.
Like in rock climbing. Sometimes you're struggling with this problem, hanging in the air high off the ground, and you just reach for it. And you reach for it, and you twist this way or that way, but you can't figure it out.
Then sometimes someone down below shouts up, just try blah. And you're thinking to yourself, they can't see what I'm holding on to. What the heck do they know?
But then you try it, and it works. Sometimes it takes an exterior view to work something out. You could be only 5 feet from reaching the top, but if you don't do this math to sort out your finances, you'll never get there.
So, once you've broken down all your categories and know how much you have to set aside every week to cover bills, etc., you have to compare that, obviously, to how much you make.
Is the amount of money you need to make higher than what you're making right now, or are you covered?
This leads into our Rock Up workshop, Ben.
Right. If you need to be making more money and you're ready to take the next step to put this complete system in place for tracking your expenses, then join us for a live workshop. Check below for times and dates that work for you.
Been great talking to you guys. Bye.
Bye.